smoothly and deeply. To begin with, I was saying that you people, the participants, are the senior most officers of higher education department. And grade 20, when we're talking about grade 20, immediately the thing that comes to our mind is about the attitude and behavior of the officers. An officer in grade 20 is supposed to be highly professional. And to connect further in in the same series, professionalism means that a person has to be ethical also. Today our topic is also about professional ethics, and we'll be talking about what professional ethics is. Ethics in itself is also a very broad term. It's generic as well. But when we link it with professional ethics, that means that how you would be behaving in your professional capacity. The first slide, as you can see, it deals with the definition. And along with the definition, you can see pictures also. These pictures will be depicting the attitude and behavior that we'll be studying in the professional ethics. Definition number one is that moral principles that govern a person's behavior or the conducting of an activity. And you can also put it like this, that ethics or moral philosophy is the philosophical study of moral phenomena. It investigates normative questions about what people ought to do or which behavior is morally right. So, all these definitions are generic. We're talking about ethics in general. But when we are further squeezing this topic, this definition to our specific topic, we'll be talking about the professional ethics. So, professional ethics thereby deals with the behavior, activity, and philosophy that any officer would be dealing with, would be exercising while being a professional. The pictures here shows that how officers here are behaving in their institutions while practicing the professional ethics. In the first picture, that's down right, you can see students sitting. It's a picture of an event. And as always, I have taken pictures from my own institution, from my own working, because this is how we can relate to one another. This is how we can put ourselves in the same picture. You can see students sitting here in a very well organized manner. And in the front row, you can see the teachers here, and some seats are reserved for the guest. On these seats, you can see that the seats are tagged. And this is a very good example of professional ethics, meaning thereby that this picture is clearly indicating the fact that in a professional atmosphere, how the seating arrangement is made. The students are sitting behind the teachers, and the teachers, along with their sitting posture, so shows that how an officer should be behaving in a professional event or in a professional function that is being held in the institution. The reserved seat shows that the senior officers who would be coming a little late, who would be coming right at the time of the event, they would not be looking for their seats. Their seats should not be occupied because they are the guests, they are the persons who are already invited in the ceremony. And the reserved seat shows that it is professionalism, it is part of professional ethics that their seats should be reserved even if they are late. And the second picture there, the second picture towards your left shows the picture of the principal standing uh, with a guest, and the guest is, of course, inaugurating the ceremony, and it is how professionally we grace the chief guest and how we give them due respect. The second slide deals with the professional ethics. We were talking about ethics in general, and now the professional ethics. Professional ethics encompass the personal and the corporate standard of behavior as expected of professionals. So, when we're talking about professional ethics, it means that any behavior, any uh, any body language, any gesture that is expected out of an officer, that is befitting of an officer, all these accumulatively are a part of professional ethics. Again, the pictures here you can see in the picture down right, there's a picture of a function, sports day, and here you can see the sports day is parade is being inspected by the former director of colleges, and principal is accompanying. And here you can see how the persons who are standing, the persons of the admin staff, they are giving respect by shutting down their hands when the director is passing in front of them. So this shows that how your body language must be showing your professionalism and your professional ethics while you are in a professional atmosphere. And the picture there on the left side is the picture of the principal, staff, and the students. It is a little informal picture, yet, however, this picture is in a professional environment. So even we mean that you are free of any kind of professional ethics. If you are informal and yet in a professional capacity, the informal ceremony or informal gathering has to carry the professional ethical behavior, the set ethical standards in your attitude and your behavior. Now, ethics in academia. We talked about ethics in general, then we talked about professional ethics. Now we'll be talking about the professional ethics and the importance of this professional ethical behavior in academics in the educational institution with reference to the higher education department. Ethical behavior in academic setting ensures the integrity and credibility of scholarly work, fosters trust within the academic community and with the public, and upholds the values of fairness and respect. Well, when you are in an academic atmosphere, it is ethical, it is professional, it is ethical to deal with your academic setting. Now, by academic setting, of course, we mean the ambience of any institution, because institutions are meant for the teaching of academics, for the pursuing of academic activities. And if you remember, in my previous lecture, we talked about curricular and co-curricular activity. So the academic setting is basically constituted of all these activities. So ethical behavior must include the academic settings, and it must be able to present before the students an incredible and integral part of scholarly work, because it is a serious work that is being pursued in the institution. So the transmission of the scholarly work, the transmission of knowledge, the transmission of wisdom in an academic setting must be pursued with commitment and sincerity. And this commitment and sincerity is actually the ethics of the academic environment. It must be given trust within the academic community and with the public, and the public thereby is also included in it. And the public is the parents. By public, we mean the parents of the students and any stakeholder that are a part of the institution, and it upholds the value of fairness and respect. Okay, what are the core principles of professional ethics? The main principles of professional ethics are integrity, accountability, confidentiality, respect, fairness, and responsibility. So if you are running your institution in an ethical way, if you are following professionalism, these are few things that must be taken into account if you are a professional officer. Integrity. Okay, this integrity is under the category of teacher, and we'll be discussing integrity under the category of the administrator also. So, firstly, integrity for a teacher involves a commitment to ethical teaching practices. whatever you are teaching, whatever duty is assigned to you by the department, your core purpose is to transmit knowledge, is to transmit wisdom and academics and text syllabus to your students. So this duty must be performed with commitment. And this commitment is not something that is to be shown to the department or that is to be shown to the principal and be her and make her obliged if you are a good teacher. Remember, participants, if you are a good teacher, if you are fulfilling your commitment, it is only because you are an ethical professional. It is not that you are making anybody under your obligation. You are obliging somebody. This behavior of some of our friends who perform their duties with vigilance, who perform their teaching work with commitment, sometimes misleads them and they try to assert themselves. So this is a point that makes them into a non-professional person. And this is the point where they deviate from professional ethics. If you're a committed person, if you're a committed teacher, you are a professionally ethical teacher. You are a professionally ethical officer, and this is all about it, which include the believing and acting the best interests of the student. You all know, you all understand this. Interacting respectfully with students, colleagues, and administrator. This is the point. I must emphasize here that this is the point when neglected is the core of all the disruption in the institutions. This line, when ignored and neglected, is the one that 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 triggers any sort of eruption in conflicts in any institution when we do not interact respectfully, right? And we do not behave respectfully with the students, colleagues, and administrators. So this element of respect, when neglected, gives rise to all sorts of conflicts and problems in the institutions. And this is where the professional ethics is applied. This is why the professional ethic becomes mandatory to be taught to the officers. And being viewed as competent, reliable, and accountable, having high standards, and being conscientious. It's about creating a culture of integrity in the classroom where students develop academic honesty and learn to act in ways consistent with the beliefs, values, and moral principles they claim to hold. So you're teaching your students, you're teaching your younger generation, your pupils, how to be an honest person. And honesty means believing in yourself, believing in your values, believing in your moral principles. And if you are teaching them and you are also behaving in the same way. So whatever you teach, you must enact it. So if you are honestly doing your duty, it means that you are following the professional ethical behavior and standard. And it is not that you are obliging anybody. So if you are doing it, you are actually teaching, preaching what you are practicing. Next comes the integrity level at the administrator slot. If you're an administrator, for an administrator, integrity is about embracing the fundamental values of academic integrity, which includes honesty, trust, fairness, and respect, responsibility, and courage. Right? If you're an administrator, it means that you are given the responsibility to keep a check and balance in your institution, to have a kaleidoscopic view of your institution. And this is the trust that is bestowed upon you by the department. So you're working in order to be a professionally ethical person. Your working must be honest, trustworthy, fair, and respectful. You're extending respect to your admin staff, to your colleagues, is all that is all about any professional ethical attitude. It means creating an effective scholarly communities where these values are a touchstone and ensuring that policies and practices within the institution reflect these values. So an ambience should be created in your institution where respect, trust, and fairness are the core values of the institution. guiding stones, are the touchstones. They are the guiding stars. And atmosphere in any institution will always facilitate this transmitted from students. Teachers play a crucial role in cultivating an ethos of integrity across the university or college, which involve managing academic misconduct with a process that is accessible, consistent, and equitable. And if you are managing, if you're an administrator, you are naturally managing an academic misconduct also. So if you are looking after the academic conduct and the misconduct, you will be dealing with a number of different instances and examples, but the element of trust, honesty, and fairness should be upheld so that if you are performing your duties, it means that you are not deviating from the professional standard. Participants, let me make it clear here that while being an administrator, you are not in agreement with many of your colleagues or your staff's ideas. You might be not very comfortable with the behavior of some of your staff members. But the thing that is to be kept in mind is that you are an administrator, and administrator means that under your office, a due right to work. They are also deputed by the department. So working in your own capacity, moving around your own orbit, and along with it, allowing others to move in their orbit as well is the real success of any administrator. So this is to put it like this, that if you might disagree with ideas, with beliefs of any of your junior or staff members, and even then you can be at good, comfortable working relationship with them, right? So this shows that you are a professionally ethical person. Accountability. Accountability for the teachers is that ensuring a performance assessment, ensuring that teachers are doing their job effectively, which includes assessing their performance and providing feedback. Performance assessment. Now, performance assessment means ensuring that teachers are doing their job effectively, which includes assessing their performance and providing feedback. The responsibility level has to be checked. Responsibility, being responsible for the outcomes of their teaching, whatever is being given to them, assigned to them as a teacher, that must be checked and that must be transmitted in a successful way. And professional development. Along with it, let me make it very clear that while you're doing your job as a teacher, while you are transmitting knowledge, along with it, the development as a professional officer has to be there. And that development shows that engaging in continuous learning and improvement to enhance their teaching skills. So if you are teaching your text, while teaching your text, you must understand that your personal development is also important. So being professionally honest and professionally ethical, you must upgrade your knowledge. You must keep on researching your knowledge. You must keep on polishing and grooming your own knowledge and your own wisdom by by continuously by continuously involving yourself in the teaching and the learning activities so that you are aware of the updated international level of knowledge. Okay, moving, you can see here pictures that the teachers, while teaching their text and syllabus to the students, are also involved in different activities. These pictures shows the professional development, that how professionally they are interacting with the principal in an informal setting, and how They are discussing their various ideas in order to run the institution. And in another picture, how events and seminars are being held in order to transmit different concepts to the students, and how these ideas are activated. Next is the slide of accountability, administrator. How, as an administrator, you can keep yourself accountable. Uh, Here you can see that the accountability for an administrator encompasses different ideas. Number one is the goal setting, establishing clear goals and expectations for the institutions performed by data. So whatever goal you have set for your institution, you must you must establish the plan. You must establish a pattern that is in synchronization with the expectations of the institution and also with the expectations of the parents and the students. Now, the governance, what do you understand by governance? Governance means demonstrating a commitment to improving governance and believing in the abilities of the institutions and of the institution's students and staff. So it means so if you are setting governance role model, it means that you are demonstrating a commitment level towards improving the governance. And governance is always good governance. There's no such thing as bad governance. If it's a bad governance, it is not governance at all. So you must believe in the ability that your students and your staff can fulfill all these plans and ideas that you have given to them. That is the plans that you have set for them. Overseeing organization performance means that you're monitoring level at the performance of your staff, your students, your admin staff. You are monitoring all these. And you are, again, as I said earlier, that the kaleidoscopic view of all these things are there in front of you, and you are keeping a bird's eye view on all these categories. Confidentiality level. Next comes the important point in the professional ethical behavior for a teacher is that the confidentiality of teacher involves a commitment to protecting the privacy of student information. Again, if you are a teacher, the information of your students is all at your hands. They are all available to you. So it means that the parents have bestowed their trust upon you, and you are the one who have to perform as a protector of that trust. So the privacy of the student data, ensuring that all personal information related to students, such as assessment, results, grades, demographic information, is kept private and only shared with the students concerned. So whatever information you have about your students, all this data has to be kept at confidence level, the confidential level. It must be kept as if it is your own data. The confidential sharing. When private data is shared, it must be done carefully and only with the necessary parties, such as parents, other teachers, and administrators, while maintaining the trust placed by the student. So, again, the point is that the confidentiality level has to be upheld. Whatever data, even the pics of the students, their ID cards, each and everything is there with the teachers and with the admin staff. So, it is the professional ethical demand that we must keep all these things in in highly confidential setting. Security practices, establishing clear security practices in the classroom to keep students' data both private and confidential, which may include secure handling of login information and password. Login information and password, we are all dealing with it in our institution. And even the websites, when they are hacked, it is just because that is that secret passwords and secret pin is shared by somebody, some person right within the institution. So when you being an administrator, being an admin staff member, personnel, even the funds, the whole funds are there lying with you, and all these things have to be looked after. Confidentiality level at the part of the administrator, what it demands is integrity and trust, upholding the highest level of integrity by not making false or deceptive claims. So if you're an administrator, you're not expected to make loud claims, to make loud statements. Whatever you are doing, you must practice what you preach. You must make feasible and believable plans and policies and avoiding conflict of interest. Your plans and policies must not be in conflict with the interest of the students, of the institution, and of the parents. This includes taking responsibility for actions and inactions and correcting any mistakes or directions. Second is fairness and equity, respecting the dignity of all individuals and not discriminating on any basis, thereby maintaining confidentiality and protecting the privacy of information. Well, participants, if you are an administrator, you are running the whole institution, and it means when you're running the whole institution, all the staff members, all your junior staff members, they will be coming to you, and they might be sharing sometimes their personal and private family life with you. They might be sharing some very serious concerns of their lives with you, of their health with you. So this shows that they have bestowed their trust upon you, and trust is always trust should always be kept confidential. So it's the element that how you respect the dignity of all your uh, staff, and how you keep things under confidential level, and how you keep their dignity intact while even knowing many of the details about their personal lives, and how even then you behave with them in a fair and equitable way. This is what we call a professional ethical officer. Transparency and accuracy, providing truthful, accurate, and complete, objective, relevant, and understandable information while respecting confidentiality and protecting the privacy of institutional information and students. So remember, participants, it is not that your staff has placed their trust upon you. Your students have placed their trust on you. It is also that their parents have placed their trust on you. The department has placed their trust on you. So it is in various dimensions that an administrator is working, and an administrator must keep the confidentiality level at all categories. So again, I would say that you might be in conflict, you might be in disagreement with many of the ideas of your staff, of your lower formation. But even then, giving them space in the professional environment so that they can work in their own orbit is what is expected out of a professional ethical officer. Next come the element of respect. As a teacher, how respect can make you a professionally, or extending respect can make you a professionally ethical officer. Respect for a teacher involves creating a positive and inclusive learning environment where students feel valued and supported. So, the element of respect should be there even for your students. You must not think that since they are your students, they are younger generation, they can be bullied, they can be penalized, they can be treated like anything. They are human beings. And remember, this is the place from where they are learning the ethical values of life as well. They are not just learning curriculum or text, they are also learning human behavior. So treat your students with respect and give them their space, give them an environment of comfort and liberty so that they feel that they are valued, they are appreciated in the institution, and they are being supported by the teachers. There are several key aspects of respect for a teacher: understanding and valuing diversity, recognizing and appreciating the diverse background, cultures, and experiences of students. And this is a very common practice you can have in your institutions, that you have students in your class, and you can see that the students, they are coming from different backgrounds, from different social strata uh, in the stratification of society. They're coming from different religious and different geographical backgrounds. So you must respect them. You must appreciate this diversity and give them an equal level of dignity and respect. Active listening, giving full attention to what students are saying, taking time to understand the point being made, and asking questions as appropriate. Again, this is very, very important because it is the feedback mechanism. If you are giving your students a chance to speak their mind out, it means that you are giving them an inclusive environment where they are fully participating. So it is not a teacher oriented class, it should be a student oriented class, by making them say what they feel like, by giving them liberty to uh, speak their mind out. Next comes empathy, showing care and understanding for students' feelings and perspective. Again, an empathy should be there by showing your love, your care, and your patronage towards your students, how they feel, how insecure sometimes they might get while passing through the academic career. You must extend your empathy towards them. Fair treatment, treating all the students equally and with fairness without any bias or favoritism. Again, the respect level for the teacher includes some more things, and that is encouraging and affirming students' efforts and achievements, whatever they are doing. That might not be, a stone turning for you. That might not be a very big thing for you. But remember, this might be something very big for the students. Their small efforts might mean a lot to them. So appreciate them, encourage them, and affirm their efforts, whatever small efforts, even the smallest of their efforts. Professional boundaries, maintaining appropriate teacher-student relationship and boundary. So, in order to be friendly with your students, in order to make a student-oriented classroom, you might be extending very extended level of comfort level, extended level of comfort and uh, freedom and liberty to your students. But the thing that has to be kept in mind, that while doing all this, an appropriate level of distance must be kept so that the students must acknowledge that despite of being very comfortable, despite of being very close to your teacher, still a teacher is a teacher, and teacher is at a place of respect. Modeling respectful behavior, demonstrating respect through one's own actions and interaction with students or colleagues. So it is the role model you are playing. Respect level at the respect at the level of administrator. So while being an administrator, you must extend your respect. How? Your leadership and vision. Your leadership and vision should set a positive tone and clear expectation for the academic community. That your leadership must envision that it is the respect that is the core principle in the institution. So respect is given the pivotal role. Inclusivity, using inclusive language, ensuring adequate representation in learning materials and valuing diverse perspective. So whatever you're doing, although you are doing as an administrator and you are leading the role, you are you are a leader, but even then, believe me, it's always the teamwork. One cannot do anything without any good teamwork. So always include your team. Your team means your staff, your students, your admin staff, even one single person of grade 4. So always be inclusive in your working and also in your achievements. Integrity means upholding the highest level of integrity by being honest, avoiding conflict of interest, and taking responsibility of action. So, as an administrator, the one thing that should be there and that needs that needs not any rocket science is that whatever do you are doing in your institution, you are responsible for it. And sometimes you are expected to be responsible even for the mistakes of your staff members. So you must uphold that, yes, being an administrator, my integrity demands that must own I must own not only the success of my institution, but also the failures of my institution. Fairness and equity. Appreciating human differences and not discriminating on any bias, on any basis, thereby maintaining a respectful environment. So the administrator must be fair and provide an equitable chance. Again, it's not equal, it's equitable chance to all your staff members by looking at their ability and their capacity. Again, I would say here that the differences are always there. It's until and unless we learn, it's until and unless we learn how to appreciate the differences, we cannot have a very smooth working relationship. And if your working relationship is not smooth, it means that you are not working as a professionally ethical officer. When you are an administrator, your respect level shows that you are transparent and accurate. Whatever you are doing, you are giving respect to your staff, your students, and whatever you are doing, you are doing it for the accuracy in order in order to make things accessible to all. Supporting institutional mission, whatever mission you have set for your institution, whatever your goals are, your policies are, you must support your mission. Again, professional development is also very important, even for an administrator. An administrator must grow with the passage of time, must evolve with the passage of time. And your decision making, again, your decision making must be ethical, making a decision that reflects institutional values and ethical and ethics. So this shows that even sometimes you are not very you're not very happy with any decision that is there. But if that decision is in the favor of your institution, in the favor of your staff, that decision has to be made. Sometimes they are hard decisions, but those hard decisions are at times may become mandatory when they are in the interest of the institution. So the clash of interest of the administrators, personal likes and dislikes, and the likes and dislikes of the institution or the benefits of the institution must not be in conflict. Excuse excuse me. By embodying these principles, administrators demonstrate respect not only for their position and institution, but also for the individual within the academic community. So we are also individuals in the academic community. As an individual, what we are performing, how we are participating, how we are contributing towards higher education department, all these elements of professional ethics, they make you they make you capable of giving a good contribution. This helps to cultivate an atmosphere of mutual respect and integrity, which is essential for the success of any educational institution. Well, participants, down there, you can see three pictures. These three pictures show that how events were held in the institution. And in these events, the students are equal participants, and how respect is given to the teachers and the students and the guests, speakers who were there in the ceremony, in the event, and how they are presenting themselves in the pictures, and they're all actually presenting their institution. In the middle picture, you can see again the students of the Girls Guide. They are, they are along with the chief guest, and they are explaining their work of fine arts to the teachers and the chief guest, and how they are given equal respect by the principal. Again, there is another picture where a seminar was held for the traffic awareness, and how the shields were presented to the guests because they brought an awareness about traffic system to the students. Fairness, teacher, equity in education, providing students with resources they need based on the individual circumstances. So, whatever circumstances individual students have, the provision of resources must be given as per their demand and as per their resources. Equal treatment must be given to the students without any bias, without any gender discrimination, without any religious or other geographical discrimination. Again, adaptability, adjusting teaching methods to accommodate different levels of level and style needs. So whatever level you are teaching, whatever text or course you are teaching, you must adapt your teaching methods. Sometimes a class needs a student-oriented class, and sometimes a class needs a teacher-oriented class. Similarly, sometimes uh, a class can be better performed with the help of audiovisual aids. So all these examples show that you must be fair to your lecture. You must transmit your lecture in a very committed way, and the fairness that is expected of teaching methodology should be there. Again, the assessment, when you're making assessment of your students as a teacher, you must be fair, you must be honest, without any personal bias. Sometimes a student behaves in a very rude way towards teacher, and yet he or she is a good student. So while assessing them, again, the professionalism, the ethical behavior expect that the personal element of likes, like dislikes, or the personal experience that you undergo in your daily classes must not prohibit you in giving good grades to your students if he or she deserves it. Again, if you are an administrator, what does fairness mean in order to be a professionally ethical officer? It's the policy implementation. So the policies that are implemented as an administrator must be made on fair basis, creating and enforcing policies that are just and clear, that are honestly made in the larger interest of the students, and that must help to establish communities of integrity among the students. Resource allocation. This is again very important, that all the resources that are allocated to the institution must be allocated in a very fair way, so that they are used in the institution for the benefit of the institution and in the transparent way. Opportunity provision, providing equal opportunities for success to all members of the community level. And conflict resolution, this is important. I think we must stop here and discuss it. That addressing the conflicts and grievances in fair and impartial manner. Again, as I've been repeating it, that if you are an administrator and you are to face any conflict that has happened in your institution, and that could be between students, that could be between teachers, that could be between student and teacher or your admin staff. What is expected out of you as an administrator is that your your involvement in the conflict must be fair. Again, the element of personal likes and dislikes could be there in your personal life, in your personal treatment with that person, with the staff, with the student, or whatever. But when you are in the capacity of an administrator, it means that your personal assessment and your personal decision are to be kept aside. Whatever is there in front of you, in the capacity of a professional officer, you must treat that thing fairly so that the personal likes, dislikes, agreement, disagreement might not interrupt in your decision as an administrator. Responsibility level as a teacher, commitment to the students. You must ensure that all your students must get an equal and fair chance to learn knowledge from you. And again, commitment to the profession. Your profession is something that has given you all this dignity and respect. And participants, we all take pride in it that the teachers are the most noble, you know, category of the society. Even the messenger, Hazrat Pak Sallam, he is given the title of a teacher. So being teacher means that you are the most noble, you are in the most noble profession of the society. So you must be committed towards it. When you are a teacher, you must be committed to the high ethical standards, to the high level of professionalism, so that your so that your person must be a role model for anyone who meets you, which includes honesty, justice, fairness, care, empathy, integrity, courage, respect, and responsibility. It's about building and trusting relationship with the students and colleagues and promoting what is in the best interest of the students' learning and development. Now, if you're an administrator, what your responsibility level would be so that you can be called a professionally ethical officer. The key aspects are confidentiality. Again, as an administrator, you must protect the confidentiality level with your students, your staff. And all the information that they have shared with you must not be shared with anyone else, even in lighter tones, even in lighter moods. So, because you are entrusted upon a very sacred thing, and the professional ethical behavior is expects that your treatment and your behavior must not reveal any of the confidential thing that is shared with you. Next come the competence. They should only assume responsibilities for which they are qualified by training and experience. So the competence level must be kept in mind as an administrator. The equitable division of duties must be there in by closely looking at the capability level of your staff. The loyalty level should also be there, determining where loyalties lie. Whether to the company, the public welfare, or the personal values is crucial in ethical decision making. So, in an ethical decision making, whatever you are doing, that must be in the larger interest of your department, of your company, or the public welfare work you are doing. So again, the thing is that I'm reminded of an example here that there was someone who was working in a bank, and he met a client, and the client was discussing with him certain things, and he said that I advised him to go for our bank and open account in our bank. The client, he followed that officer, the bank officer, and the other colleague told him that you could have given him another advice that could be might more profitable for you. But then the gentleman said that my loyalties lie with my bank. So I would advise him whatever is in the benefit of my company or my bank. So this is being loyal to your department. Legal and industry standard, following the law and the industry specific codes of ethics is a fundamental part of being responsible administrator. You have to follow the codes, the policies, the law. Again, the organization policy, you must adhere to it as an administrator, and this is your entire responsibility. And this is the entire responsibility that is bestowed upon you by the department. Well, participants, this is very, very important thing that we will be talking about now, gender discrimination. We sometimes we behave in a very ethical way, but when it comes to gender discrimination, sometimes we get rude. Sometimes we forget all about mannerism, culture, and ethical behavior. Gender discrimination is unjust and equal treatment and unequal treatment of individuals and groups based on their gender. Following a few examples of gender discrimination, yes, it happens that sometimes a female who is working at the same level, who is giving the same energy, who is working the same duty hours in any organization, and yet she is paid low as compared to the male members because of the gender discrimination. Again, job segregation. Sometimes some good task or good assignment is not given to the ladies just because of the fact that they are ladies. So again, this is unethical. This is unethical. And gender-based violence, again, this is something, if ladies are working along with men in any organization, company, or institution, the violence, again, that is sometimes is there, and this are totally unacceptable. Unequal access to education and healthcare. Again, this is very unethical. If the girls, if the ladies are not given equal access to the jobs, to the education, to the healthcare, to the economic market, this is again very unethical. Underrepresentationship in leadership, this is happening, that in leadership our ladies are not equally represented. So these things need to be there. Stereotyped and prejudiced, again, sometimes our ideas, our beliefs about a certain gender are very stereotyped. So we must overcome all these stereotype thinking. No, this is an unusual development, and that is about the transgenders. We can see that even the transgenders are now included in the mainstream of jobs. And this is very good sign. I believe this is quite progressive, that the gender discrimination is being ruled out gradually. Transgender discrimination, ethical consideration. Gender discrimination must, be seen with ethical consideration, raises ethical questions about fairness, justice, and human rights. Ethical framework emphasize treating all individuals with dignity, respect, equality, regardless of their gender. Okay, advocacy, education, policy changes are essential to combat gender discrimination and promote gender equality. Okay, participants, this was all about the lecture. Again, I have included some case studies so that you can also have your say. These case studies are here. Case study number one is here. You can see here the case number one. Please read it, and there are certain questions I have put in. We can talk about these questions, and we can have your input also. An administrative staff at a college accidentally sends an email. This is not clear. And sends an email. Words are omitted here. Maybe you can read it out. It's written here with me. Okay, here it is. And then an administrative staff of at a college accidentally sends an email containing sensitive information about a family, about a faculty disciplinary case to the entire faculty board. This breach of confidentiality causes significant distress to the faculty member involved and sparks a debate about the data privacy within the college. Now, there are certain questions I have put in. Asad, please unmute their mic so that we can discuss this case. What immediately comes to your mind, participants? Ji Asad, can you hear me? आवाज नहीं आ रही?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
जी Asad, please unmute their mic.
Yeah, ma'am.
Dear participants, I need your input in this case study that if supposedly this incident happens, which usually happen, what would you be doing? What would be your discussion points? Asad, please unmute their mics.
मैम अनम्यूट है आप लोग काइंडली कर सकते हैं क्वेश्चन
अस्सलाम वालेकुम मैम
Walaikum salam.
Sadia Hussain, I'm Sadia Hussain. Actually, if such thing happens, this is the irreversible loss for that faculty member. First of all, the person who has shared this information, he should be immediately asked that he should be punished or penalized or should be sent as show cause dismissed from his post. First of all, this should be done. Secondly, the sufferer about whom this such type of data has been spread should be called to the office for compensation because it cannot be reversed. The things because other faculty members have read that material. How can we reverse the situation?
Gee, anyone else? Any other idea?
And lesser staff, some serious person should be given access to this database of college. For example, the email address and the database of the college should not be accessible to all. Sometimes clerks do this thing. It happens.
Good. Good suggestions. Anyone else? Anyone else who would like to share? Walaikum salam. Ji, walaikum
Madam, I'm
salam.
Sadia Rahmani from Dubai Medical College Bahawalpur. मैडम
जी,
मेरा
जी।
इसमें पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू ये है कि जब आप एक प्रोफेशनल एथिक्स की बात कर रहे हैं तो वी कैन नॉट रिमूव एनी पर्सन सडनली मिस्टेक की गुंजाइश हर जगह रहती है तो उससे ये बहुत बड़ी गलती हुई जो भी उस रिकॉर्ड को रखने वाला था या संभालने वाला था तो देयर इज सम लॉफुल मैनर्स जो हमने पढ़े हैं पिछले दिनों के एक उनको मॉरल आप परसुएशन देते हैं फिर उनको आप वार्निंग्स देते हैं फिर एक्सप्लेनेशंस देते हैं एंड देन यू कैन डू एनीथिंग इन अ प्रोफेशनल लाइफ एक तो पहली बात ये है कि गलती करने वाला अगर पहली दफा गलती कर रहा है सिस्टम को
जी, जी।
चलाना है यू कैन नॉट रिमूव एनीबॉडी अब जो लॉस हुआ है जिस हमारे मेंबर का या जिस उसका डेफिनेटली वो इरिवर्सिबल है डेफिनेटली उसको थोड़ा सा एम्बेरसमेंट फेस करनी है लोगों के सामने बट द एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर ऑफ द कॉलेज कैन हैंडल इट कि वो अपने
जी, जी।
अपने सारे स्टाफ को एतमाद में ले सकता है मीटिंग कर सकता है और जो एक्चुअल सिचुएशन है उसको थोड़ा सा बेटर वे में कन्वे करके उस सिचुएशन को थोड़ा सा कूल डाउन कर सकता है तो मेरे
जी जी
हिसाब से फौरी तौर पर उनको अपने सारे स्टाफ के सामने अपने उस मेंबर की सिचुएशन को थोड़ा पॉजिटिवली बयान करके तो उनकी एम्बेरसमेंट को या उनकी परेशानी को कम किया जा सकता है एंड देन वी कैन डू द लॉफुल मैनर जो भी हम आगे कर सकते हैं फॉर दैट पर्सन. तो आई
right,
थिंक
good.
सो कि दिस इज द राइट वे. थैंक
You're
यू.
right, you're right, and you have given some good points also. Right, nice. So, in short, it means that another disciplinary action has to be proceeded. Well, there's the second case, a fairness and assessment scenario. Okay. A teacher at a Pakistani college is accused of showing favoritism towards certain students, leading into allegations that grades are being unfairly distributed. Several students feel that their grades do not reflect their true performance and have lodged complaints with the administration. Okay, participants, what do you have to say in this case? This is a very common practice, isn't it? Gee, participants, come up with new ideas, any innovation. Asad, mic is unmute.
Hello, Assalamu
Yes,
alaikum.
yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, this is a very
Ji,
common
walaikum
practice
salam.
in the colleges where semester system is have been launched. Actually, the grades can be cross-checked by
Excuse
the
me,
paper
you are not
manifestations
audible.
of the students. Principal can depute a committee, investigation committee, or a group of teachers, or quality enhancement cells are there in
Ji, ji.
colleges. So the grades and the paper manifestations or the answer scripts can be matched. It can be easily evaluated from those cross checkings that whether the student deserves these grades or sessional marks or not.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Hello,
Secondly,
Assalamu
teachers
alaikum.
are most of the time teachers should behave, integrity. We should not lose the integrity. It happens,
Mm.
but as we don't practice that, so it is hard to believe that teacher can do that. But it is a common practice. Somewhere it happens.
Hello, Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum.
Mm-hmm.
There is a question number 4.
I'm
What
sorry, you're
mechanism
not very
can be
clear.
implemented to regularly review and improve assessment practices? Ma'am, that's what I am already. I
Mm.
have told you that there are QEC cells. I think they are not functional in a very active manner in colleges. But quality enhancement cell ensures the quality of assessment also. If we can
Mm.
continue these activities on periodic level after every semester and at the end of every semester, these discrepancies can be stopped.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Good, good. Good idea. Anyone else?
Hello, Assalamu alaikum.
Any other idea?
Yes,
जी,
Assalamu
Assalamu
alaikum.
alaikum, ma'am. I am Mrs. Anila Yasmin from Bahawalpur. Ma'am, I think the administration should be vigilant and the principal or the administrator should visit the classrooms and the lectures so that she must know or he must know the capability of the students and efficiency of the teachers as well. It would give a good impact on the students that administration is very much vigilant about the progress of the studies. um, it should be done regularly on regular basis, that principal or the administrator should take care of each and everything which is happening around her.
You're right, you're right. And again, I would say that we must come up with innovative ideas like, a third party assessment and with conceptual based examination system instead of having the same stereotype questions so that the possibility of favoritism is excluded. Number 3 case is conflict of interest scenario. An administrator at a Pakistani college is responsible for overseeing the selection of vendors for a new campus project. It is discovered that one of the vendor being considered is owned by a close relative of the administrator. There are concerns about potential conflict of interest. G.
May I, madam?
G.
मैडम बेसिकली दिस इज अ वेरी सीरियस इशू जो कि हम अब इस वक्त हर तरफ ये देख रहे हैं. तो जहाँ तक कॉलेजेस का कंसर्न है तो यहाँ पर थोड़ी सी बात आ जाती है कि कॉलेजेस में क्योंकि एक परचेज कमेटी है और वो भी रिस्पॉन्सिबल है फॉर दैट, क्योंकि उसने ही ये सारी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ओन करनी होती है. तो इस सिलसिले में ये मामला तो मैडम बहुत ही मुश्किल है हमारे इस सिस्टम के अंदर कि कोई शख्स जो है वो अपने एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर के सामने जो है ना इस बात को निगेट करे. बट हमें थोड़ी सी हिम्मत करनी पड़ती है कि जो सही बात है उसको कर देना चाहिए. तो दिस इज द होली सोली रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ऑफ ये मैटर जो है ये बेसिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन मींस प्रिंसिपल या परचेज कमेटी के दरमियान होता है. तो जितना मुझे अंदाजा है उसमें ये है कि यू हैव टू बी विजिलेंट. आपको हर वेंडर के बारे में जानना चाहिए, पेपरा पे जाके देखना चाहिए, उसकी ब्लैक लिस्टिंग को चेक करना चाहिए. देन आपके पास जब सारे एविडेंसेस हो जाएं कि देयर आर बेटर ऑप्शंस फॉर दिस पर्पस कि आप इन वेंडर्स को चूज कर सकते हैं, तो दिस इज अ बेटर प्रोफेशनल मैनर कि आप उनको कायल करने की कोशिश जरूर करें. तो होपफुली अगर आपका एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर हो जाता है आपसे कायल तो ओके, लेकिन अगर बात आ जाती है बहुत ज्यादा रिस्की के तो आई थिंक सो कि जो परचेज कमेटी है उसको स्टैंड लेना जो है वो जरूरी हो जाता है इस मामले में, क्योंकि दिस इज द यूटिलाइजेशन ऑफ द रिसोर्सेज जो कि हमारी पहली रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है कि हमारे स्टूडेंट्स के जो रिसोर्सेज हैं वो जाया नहीं होने चाहिए इस फेवरेटिज्म में. तो अगर उसका उस वेंडर का दूसरी बात ये है कि अगर वो वेंडर कोई अच्छा ऑप्शन है, वो अच्छा भी तो हो सकता है ना, हम नेगेटिवली क्यों सोच रहे हैं. तो अगर उसकी रेपुटेशन अच्छी है, उसकी वर्किंग अच्छी है, उसका कम्युनिकेशन, उसको चेक कर लेना चाहिए. तो अगर वो बेटर ऑप्शन है तो फिर भी उसके ऊपर सिर्फ इस वजह से नहीं मुखालफत बराए मुखालफत करनी चाहिए कि इसमें जो है एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन का कोई हाथ है. तो आई थिंक सो कि इन मैटर्स को पॉजिटिवली लेके जाना चाहिए और आप आर्ग्यू करें विद एविडेंसेस, विद प्रॉपर आर्ग्यूमेंट, नॉट ओनली फॉर द सेक ऑफ कि जी बस मैंने इख्तिलाफ करना है कि ये आया क्यों है. गो के हमारी इसमें ये एक रूल्स में भी शामिल है कि कहीं भी कोई आपका कोई स्टेक होल्डर अगर शामिल हो जाता है या आपके जहाँ पर कॉन्फ्लिक्ट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट पैदा हो जाता है तो बेसिकली तो एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर को ही इस आइडियली स्पीकिंग के एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर को ही ये वाला रिस्क नहीं लेना चाहिए. तो अगर वो ले लेता है तो फिर कमेटी को थोड़ा सा इसके ऊपर आर्ग्यूमेंट करना चाहिए
Okay,
कि
right. So
जी
PEPRA rules the other answer. Number 4
जी
is
जी
ethical use of technology. A teacher at a Pakistani college uses social media to communicate with students about class-related matters. However, some students feel uncomfortable with the level of the personal information shared. D. This is another scenario. इसमें आप क्या कहेंगे? The participants, इसमें what would you say in this scenario?
Excuse me, ma'am.
जी,
अस्सलाम वालेकुम.
वालेकुम सलाम.
5 minutes are left.
मैं
Please enter on our way.
डॉक्टर साबरा सुल्ताना बात कर रही हूँ.
जी
ऐसा
जी.
है कि ये हमारा जो केस स्टडी है ये रिलेटेड टू द सोशल मीडिया है जो हम अपने स्टूडेंट्स के साथ शेयर कर रहे हैं, और उनकी अगर कोई पर्सनल इस तरह की बात है जो वो फील नहीं करते कि ये शेयर होनी चाहिए, तो जैसे हम ग्रुप्स बना लेते हैं क्लास के और बच्चों से
اس میں چھٹیوں میں یا ریگولر اس میں بھی اس میں ہم کمیونیکیٹ کر رہے ہوتے ہیں. تو اس میں اوائڈ یہ کیا جا سکتا ہے کہ کسی کی کوئی پرسنل بات ہے یا اس کو کچھ پرسنلی سمجھانا ہے یا اس کی پرسنل کوئی انفارمیشن ہے، ظاہر ہے کوئی ڈانٹ ڈپٹ ہے یا اس طرح کی چیز ہے، تو اس کو ہمیں الگ سے ان باکس کر کے اس سے ڈسکشن کرنی چاہیے، پورے گروپ میں نہیں کرنی چاہیے. گروپ کو ہمیں عام طور پہ اس لیے ہم اپنے اس کو رکھتے ہیں سوشل میڈیا کو کہ ہم بچوں کو جنرل انفارمیشن ریلیٹڈ ٹو دیئر کلاس ورکس، ریلیٹڈ ٹو دیئر ٹیسٹ، انکمنگ جو بھی ایونٹس ہوتے ہیں اس کے بارے میں بتانے کے لیے، تاکہ وہ ان ٹچ رہیں. کوئی بچہ نہیں آ پاتا یا ان کو ریکال کرنے کے لیے، تو ان کو الگ سے ہم تھوڑا سا ان کے پرسنل نمبر سے وہ کر سکتے ہیں. اور بہت سارے نمبر چونکہ جیسے ہمارے کالجز میں ہوتا ہے، بچے اس قدر افورڈ نہیں کر سکتے کہ ہر ایک کے پاس الگ سے ایک موبائل ہو، اور اس طرح سے عام طور پہ ان کے بھائیوں کے یا فادر کے نمبر ہوتے ہیں جن سے وہ ڈیل کرتے ہیں اپنے ہوم ورک کے لیے. اور اسی لیے تو اس پہ ہمیں بہت زیادہ محتاط ہو کے کام کرنا پڑتا ہے کہ کوئی ایسی بات، کوئی پکس بچوں کے نمبر، تو ہم ان کو الگ سے کلاس میں بھی سمجھاتے ہیں کہ کسی کا بھی کوئی پرسنل نمبر جو ہے اس کو آپ نے مس یوز نہیں کرنا، اور پھر اس پہ الگ سے آپ نے کوئی کمیونیکیٹ کرنا یا کسی طرح کی کوئی اور باتیں آپ نے نہیں کرنی جو ڈائریکٹ ہے کلاس میں ٹیچر کی ہی اس کے کنسرن کے ساتھ. اور جب ہمیں کچھ لگتا ہے کہ کچھ تھوڑی سی باتیں کنٹرول سے باہر جا رہی ہوتی ہیں، تو ایز این ایڈمن ہم اس کو ان کے میسیجز کو سٹاپ بھی کر دیتے ہیں، ون وے کر دیتے ہیں، تاکہ ٹیچر ان کو گائیڈ کر دیں، اور انہوں نے جو رپلائی کرنا ہے وہ الگ سے ان باکس کر کے ٹیچر کو رپلائی کر دیں.
Okay,
Thank you.
good. So, but the participants, this is all with this today's lecture, and I hope you have enjoyed it because it's quite a different topic and quite relatable to our everyday working. Thank you.